Welcome to a brief introduction to the Public Value Canvas. This is a tool to assist practitioners to vet both the logic of their idea for change, as well as its potential and feasibility to create the desired value for their community. To demonstrate the use and power of the Public Value Canvas, let us leverage it to depict the social change efforts by countries of the European Union to receive and resettle Syrian refugees as they flee their war-torn country and seek political asylum with their neighbors to the northwest. The predicament places a large number of Syrians fleeing the ongoing conflict in their homeland. They are arriving on the shores of nearby countries like Italy and Greece without a place to go or a place to sleep, and these access paths, or entry points to the European Union, have become overwhelmed with how to handle the influx. In response, the EU has requested that all European Union countries share in an effort to accept these refugees, their families, and their children who are seeking asylum in the EU. However, not everyone is ready to accept the challenge of receiving and resettling these weary and often desolate refugees. Many EU countries are actually unequipped as they lack readily available supports and systems. In addition, each country has political ideologues who are engaged in heated debates, arguing over the increased responsibilities being placed on their countries to care for this growing influx of refugees. Is this our responsibility? What about our duty to our own citizens who already lack needed support? As we draw our focus to one country, we see that the currently ruling party has embraced the need to act. Their Secretary of Interior and Security has directed their government departments to prepare and to respond. To do so, their agency for the reception of asylum seekers has been mobilized for action. And act is what they need to do, because every day, busload after busload of refugees is being sent to their country for reception and resettlement. The agency team is charged with mobilizing the country to welcome these new people into their communities. The head of the agency for the reception of asylum seekers unveils a motto: no matter how many asylum seekers arrive in the country, no one will have to sleep outside. This claim is a reference to an envisioned future for all refugees coming to their country. And this motto points to an ethical and ambitious goal of providing humanitarian treatment to each and every one of these political refugees. It is the team's desire to provide basic living conditions and to guarantee human rights and basic welfare to each person, especially with an initial commitment to finding immediate shelter for each and every one of the refugees as they arrive in the country. The cost to the country of this welcoming posture toward refugees could be outlined as an unexpected duty on residents to care for an influx of refugees, an increased fear of what an influx of people foreign to the country and without obvious resources might mean for their neighborhoods. Could this resettlement in our town result in increased crime, an extra burden on our schools, or even the displacement of current citizens from their existing jobs? There are also the obvious costs of increased taxes and diverted resources. The costs and benefits must be weighed and tracked to maintain the will and spirit of the general public to lean in and continue their efforts. The challenge to the refugees is real, and to match it, the current heart of the country to receive these fleeing people is authentic. So the challenge is to determine the concrete effort, or the public value proposition, that will achieve these goals. In this case, the team is seeking to receive and house refugees on the day that they arrive. The agency has agreed to pop up regional reception centers and receive and process these refugees, and to mobilize a network of nearby cities and towns to immediately shelter the refugees as they arrive. It is a local effort that each vicinity is being asked to undertake. The change idea starts with a challenge and an actor, or team, who have an envisioned future with varied dimensions of value, both benefits and costs to be considered. And they begin to consider an action, or what might be called a public value proposition, to bring the current state to an envisioned future with an overall positive net public value. This change idea can be further developed and evaluated using the three elements of the strategic triangle: support, capacity, and purpose. These three critical considerations work together to assure that the proposed change idea is complete, and that it is aligned on paper at a specific point in time and as best as possible to successfully produce the valued effects. In this case, the team has the support of the European Union's Court of Human Rights, as well as the country's government, which has mobilized its national agencies to act, and which has built the general public spirit of the populace to welcome these asylum seekers. As for capacity, the agencies have popped up regional reception centers, and in concert with local municipalities and residents, they are identifying housing, providing food and basic amenities, as well as finding, if not building, support networks and integration services. With the political work of support and the task work of capacity in place, the purpose to receive and ultimately resettle refugees is, at this moment, underway. Time will tell if this current alignment can be maintained, and the astute team leader will keep evaluating and directing efforts to keep the strategic triangle in check. The country has begun their work to openly welcome political refugees from Syria into their lives.